I want you to hit me as hard as you can. What?
Welcome, everyone. Happy Monday. Tron ARES. Is it a dud or is it a hit? Depends on who you talk to. We have a divided panel today to discuss, plus lots of news stories, the Wonder Man trailer, and news stories you are not going to believe. You can only see on this channel. And a healthy debate. I think we all respect each other, but we'll see how it goes. So let's get started. Let's get everyone here. Let's come on in. Come on. Hey everyone. Happy Monday. What's going on?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, everybody. You guys are all low key. It's probably because it's Monday.
We just didn't have anything prepared for that question.
Yes, prepared. Oh,
I didn't realize I was muted.
coming in hot. Hey, we are couple notes. Dante James, everyone knows he's in the midst of a move. He will be back next week. Robert Meyer Burnett is not here today over a personal issue. I assume he saw the trailer for Starfleet Academy and had to take time off. We'll talk Star Trek on there are too many good Star Trek stories to talk about. We're saving that for our Wednesday show. Today it's all about
good Star Trek stories.
Yes,
many good bad Star Trek stories.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Great Star Trek stories.
But we have returning champions and new ones. So everybody introduce yourself on the show as I put you full screen. Tell us who you are. Plug your channel. Let's go.
Steph, my nerdy home. I'll be on camera soon, but yeah, happy to be here.
Greetings, programs. I'm Nerd Cookies here on YouTube, ready to talk some Tron.
I'm glad Nerd Cookies is here for this. Angry Badger, I am 2 subs away from 10,000. So if you'd like to be a hero, go on.
Don't do it.
How dare you, Alan?
Yeah, Alan Ning. I was in the same room as Sydney Sweeney last night.
Let's get ready to
Yeah.
That's right. Alan and I saw the Sydney Sweeney produced and starring a film Christie about a real life female boxer. It's I'll just say better than expected, and she is quite the producer to pull this together. We'll talk about it the week it opens, but the full Q&A after the panel or after the screening is actually for members only. So if you're a member of the channel, the 20-minute Q&A, yes, I was zoomed in on Sydney Sweeney the whole time, even though Ben Foster was there, other people.
And 80% of it was on her face.
Yes. And I forgot, Blaine, you're new. I want to give you a big plug because we're a big supporter of Criticless. Tell us who you are on your channel.
Yeah. I'm Blaine, the CEO creator of Criticless Inc., which is a website, a app, a reviewing platform for all sorts of media and entertainment. Right now it's TV shows and movies, but we are going to be branching out in the future. And we've been around in the community for a while. I'm on Criticless Cast as well. We've been slowly growing that channel and doing it as we dig in. And I'm all over the interwebs on a lot of other shows of late. But yeah, and we're just slowly growing and building up this Criticless environment of reviews from the people for the people, just a more grounded, entertainment-focused sphere. So it's a cool place. Come hang out for sure.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
I don't know what
movie
it is.
starting. Yeah,
I like it.
Inspiring.
I'm like,
It's-
yeah.
Blaine, are you
right.
going to add IPAs as the next?
By the way, I just passed 10,000. Thank you, chat. You're all here.
Yes!
Oh, heck
Yes,
Honored to
congrats,
do it on
Badger.
birthdays.
And by the way, in other Badger news, can you announce what's happening on Friday?
Oh, yes. Unfortunately, Alan, I can't help you with your live stream because I'll be on FNT for the first time with the whole group.
Oh,
Let's
heck
go.
yeah.
It's going to be awesome. Totally
Congrats.
my last little dream
Let's
come
go.
true. I don't know what to do with myself now. I've caught all the cars I was chasing after. It's great. I'm very honored.
Congrats, Badger. It's well earned. I know
Thank you,
Nerd
guys.
Cookies went on FNT and she lived. Steph, wait, you haven't even been on yet.
I have never been on FNT.
What?
Been behind the
What?
scenes, haven't you?
This is a great shame upon the FNT.
I mean, you've been to Gary's house. I haven't been to his house.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We should stop.
Yeah, I'm
putting,
over there like all
Edward
the
dolls
time.
and
But I
Twilight
haven't
dolls all over his room.
officially. I've streamed from Gary's room, but no, I haven't officially been on FNT as
All
a
right.
guest.
All right. Well, before we go over box office, let's say hi to everybody here. Jeremiah Hembry is a member for 2 months, 18 months. Badger, go ahead.
What are your thoughts about all the stuff that we got announced at New York Comic Con?
Well, there was a lot of all the stuff. There was a lot, including Sigourney Weaver talking about coming back to the Alien franchise. I don't know that we'll get to some of it today, but the Sigourney Weaver one is surprising, but not surprising because I feel that franchise is kind of desperate. So there was a lot of news out of New York Comic Con. The Star Trek trailers, we saw 2, and I don't know. Anyone else care to comment about New York Comic Con stuff?
Still going through it all. The Sigourney one is concerning only because a 50-page document on where they thought clone Ripley would be after Resurrection, and it seemed to resonate with her. So they're never going to stop.
Is it because Alien Earth is not doing as expected? I thought they were greenlighting 2 seasons already, but I haven't heard an announcement since. And now I hear this news floating around. And
We heard it could be years before another Alien
Or
Earth.
maybe she's part of that show. Maybe. I mean, I don't know how they do it. They don't seem to care about timeline, whatever. But yeah, there was a lot out of New York Comic Con.
There was a vision panel.
There was a vision panel. There was a lot.
Ironically, I'm excited about that one. Just
I
as
know.
Terry
Yeah.
Vitalis,
yeah, I'm interested.
James Spader, yeah.
And Nick XH, member for 19 months. Thank you for being a member. And then also, everyone, go to shop.filmthreat.com. Get your Film Threat merch. You can wear the very shirt I'm wearing now. It's Tron inspired, or at least the classic Tron. You can see I'm modeling the shirt. Thankfully, I'm not a model on the site, but yeah, get your Film Threat themed shirt, and we've got Back to the Future, Batman, many others. Check those out. Lots of fun. Okay,
You guys are 33 subs away from 150,000.
we're almost there. Maybe by the end of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to your soups later. I do want to say before we start with box office, Criticless.com is like a better version of Rotten Tomatoes. I know Alan is on there. There's you get more of my favorite part of Rotten Tomatoes are the audience scores. That's what Criticless focuses on. So that's what I love about it. So thank you, Blaine, for all you do. It continues to blow up. And Derek Anderson, returning champion, is here. Thank you, Derek, for joining us. You couldn't miss this Tron conversation here.
Oh yeah. I came
Let's get-
specifically for this.
Okay. Well, I've watched your videos. I've been watching you all weekend. You even did a Wonder Man trailer reaction. Right out of the gate.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff came out of New York Comic Con. So are you guys talking about that? Because there was the Vision trailer that we haven't seen, but I kind of got somebody was there, shot me a video, behind the scenes video of it. So that was interesting.
And
I know. How was it?
Yeah, more to come. I think they need to. I'm waiting for the official trailer before I actually, make my condemnation. I'm a little nervous about Marvel, man. I don't know where Marvel is at right now. I think Marvel's in a dark place, and I'm hoping
if Disney does what Disney does, you saw the trailer. That was it.
Yeah. Let's start off with box office. Alan, you've got the numbers. Tron ARES, which uses the brand name Tron, and it's a movie, but there's no Tron in it, which is fine. It's a choice. It's a choice. Came in number 1 with 33 million. Number 2, Roof Man, a movie made for $19 million that made 8 million. And Alan and I both enjoyed that film. One battle after another, hanging in there at number 3 with 6.6 million. Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie, film Alaning refused to see, 3.4 million. Number 5, Soul on Fire, which Alan did review, 3 million. The Conjuring Last Rites at number 6 with 2.9 million. Number 7, Demon Slayer, 2.2 million. Cumulative domestic gross 128 million. That's insane.
Yeah,
And
but look at international, $500 million international.
So worldwide box office total is 637. That's insane. That's crazy. After that, we've got the Smashing Machine dropping to number 8. What, Alan? What percent drop?
A 69% drop.
69% drop. 1.6.
Nice.
Look, I like this movie, Smashing Machine. I just don't think people want to see the Rock like that.
Well, yeah, they want to see a Dwayne Johnson movie.
That's
Rock.
a very niche movie, just like the Iron Claw, just like probably Christie when it comes out. Like that's just a subset of people that are going to go see that.
Yeah, Christie will probably do exactly the same.
And then we have The Strangers, Chapter 2 at number 9, 1.6 million, and Good Boy, which that's surprising, 1.4 million for a little small indie movie like that. That's great. If you love dogs, see the movie. I mean, you will be concerned. You'll be afraid something will happen, and things do happen, but it's a worthwhile movie. What are the takeaways from the box office mainly? And when people are saying Tron is underperforming, I think it could have made 50, but I think Tron was always like a fringe franchise. What do you guys think? Analysis of it.
Well, originally it was. Weren't they not going to make it?
Yeah, I mean, this thing's been on hold for years. And I mean, I think Legacy was considered a bomb. The critics were split on it, just like this movie. I think it made like 44 million in the box office opening weekend for that. And I think that they were just hoping that the like continuing steam of just the momentum from being a cult classic kind of thing would kind of make it do better. But I'm not really surprised at where it's sitting either.
I mean, with inflation, though, it probably what made back then the equivalent of James Gunn's Superman. It wasn't a total fail. And honestly, for one of their few original IPs, they did start something. The first movie was a bomb for sure. But having been one of their original IPs, they definitely revived. I think they were successful in reviving the IP, introducing it to a new audience. And I think for what that was, it was a success. But when I saw that the initial numbers, which was 50 million, then it went down to 44. And when I saw that they couldn't even exceed Tron Legacy's opening domestic numbers, like then you've already failed. And
they're going to lose. My co-host did the math, and even using their conservative lie numbers, because every movie's just made for 180 million, it's going to lose 240 million dollars easily. Oh, yeah. Probably a lot more.
They should have capitalized on the momentum back then.
Right.
They had this ready to go, but they were too busy to, destroying Star Wars because they just plugged down the name on that.
We will get to more Tron talk. I really want to talk box office here, but if they made a Tron 4, which they could, it's got to be Tron 404. That's what it's got to be.
Stop making Jared Leto happen. It's not happening.
No, I think that they were banking on Jared Leto really to pull in a lot of box office money with this.
From what they said,
I don't think that Hollywood understands that while they love Jared Leto, normal people don't.
No.
From what they said, that Jared Leto was the one kind of pushing this third movie.
Yes. He made himself a star.
He was attached to it. They got rid of everybody else, and so this became a Jared Leto.
He was supposed to be. I think it was Tron Ascendancy. I forgot the actual
Ascension.
title. Ascension. Okay. And there was a character named ARES in that movie. And, you know, that was Jared Leto's character. And then when that thing got scrapped, Jared Leto said, well, you know, let me dig this character up and let me throw some money and let me throw some interest and let me try to get this thing off the ground. And then we'll just do a movie about ARES. And that's what it is. It's just a movie about ARES. Tron in name only. Tron has absolutely nothing to do with this whatsoever. And so Jared Leto, it's a Jared Leto project. And the reason why, in my opinion, that it failed, like Steph said, Jared Leto's just not that dude. He's just not. Nobody really
let's
wants
be
to
frank.
see this guy.
The story was awful too. There was nothing.
But I mean, you would think like Jared Leto would bring at least a couple of more people.
No, you still need
if he had some star power. He has zero star.
Just
power.
like Morbius.
In, he was the face of the marketing campaign for years. There was no other casting reveals. It was just him, and that was all that we really knew about it. And we knew that originally his character was a villain. His name was the God of War, so we thought that that would be consistent. But no, we just only knew Jared Leto, and that's it. And that just wasn't enough to drum up excitement in the general audience, let alone Tron fans who just wanted to see the continuation of Legacy.
Right.
Don't forget all the people Jodie Turner-Smith brought in, Mother Anasea as Athena. She's a real big draw.
What I found curious is that I didn't realize Greta Lee was in this movie. She is an actress. I like her. I like her past lives. Alan, you and I went to a screening of Past Lives. Greta Lee was there for a Q&A. That was one of my favorite movies the year it was released. This movie doesn't speak to her strengths. She is more suited for drama and more thoughtful type of film, not a spectacle blockbuster movie. But what they did was they hid her in the marketing. In fact, they downplayed every female character in the marketing, except Jared Leto. Yeah. So, what do we think about that?
Can I just say, can you guys get into it? Because I think I saw Nerd Cookie say it. I don't know if she was like joking or not, but I know she meant it too. This is Star Wars, the sequels all over again. They took everything that Sam was supposed to do, erased it, and now Greta Lee, their female character, can make Incom successful and carry on. They invented entire new plot points that didn't exist, like permanence codes, and put them places that shouldn't exist, like old computers. They basically just reset everything, and Sam and Cora are literally on a fucking island somewhere. I disagree with every single choice they made. Sorry, go ahead.
Wait, how did Cora survive the 29 minutes?
Because the permanence code didn't exist, Alan.
Yeah, they just invented it. So many contrivances in the story, but there was, for so many things that they introduced, there was no writing. There was no character development. So the beginning of the film is just terrible because it just simply tells you in a news montage, Sam Flynn isn't in this movie. Here's Eve Kim. She's CEO of Encom. She's the genius video game designer. She's the one carrying on Kevin Flynn's legacy. They never mention Alan Bradley. They never mention Tron. It's not only an affront to Tron fans, but just from a general audience perspective, I couldn't even turn my brain off and enjoy it because they didn't introduce us to the character. She has no identity besides what she replaced in Sam Flynn. She just replaced him and what should have been his character arc. And they gave nothing to her as far as backstory, personality, motivation. What was her journey? What did she learn? She cannot exist without other characters being pushed to the side. So they just never told us or bothered to do any writing for her
dead sister,
just like Ray.
You're wrong. She's Asian and has a dead sister.
Luke's out of picture. Ray is here, even going so far as to take his name, and that's why I still use Ray Skywalker, because that was the purpose of this character, to replace Luke. And that's what Eve Kim's purpose was in this movie.
Sorry, real quick. No, that it was not. The ISO digital DNA is what you saw in Legacy. And just because they come up with this thing called the permanence code that didn't exist and then make it look the same digital, that's what I went back to watch the second time to see. Yeah, they made the permanence code look like the ISO DNA, except Kevin Flynn didn't make the ISOs. They burst into existence like a flame. The conditions were right and they came into being. They didn't exist on his 80s computer. It just, they did not pay attention to lore. And the only reason we got any connection to the first Tron is because Jared wanted it in. There's a whole article about it.
Now, I'll say this, and I think I'm one of the few people that's probably on here at all to defend this movie. Now, I did enjoy it fairly well. I will also say, before I say anything about this movie, that like I actually adore Tron Legacy. It is one of my all-time favorite movies, and I'm super pissed the way that they treated everything from that film and how they shit on it. Now, with all of that being said, I do think that there's something to be said for that. They were trying to make this more accessible. Now, could they have made this more accessible by giving us Sam and Cora? Abso-freaking-lutely. That was a huge mistake, jettisoning those characters, hand waving them away in the beginning. But I do think that this is arguably the most accessible of the Tron movies, and really, for 1 and 2. These films have been kind of hand wavy and with their lore in general. And then the question is also like, yes, they have the cult followings, but like, how many people are going to be that hard and fast on sticking to the lore?
When you make it for everyone, you make it for no one, bro. What you just said, that's why it's failing and is going to make more than Morbius. They need to make it the way it was for the fans that like it, and our passion and word of mouth will bring in everyone else.
Well,
we will
and
never see another Tron movie.
They didn't even need to fiddle with lore when it came to the story. Could have just been, if you'd retained ARES as the villain, the story could have just been set on the Dillinger grid from the Dillinger perspective. I think that would have been much more intriguing. It was kind of marketed as almost like an Empire Strikes Back film, that it's what we're all seeing red. It's just Dillingers, and it's just obviously indicative of evil programs invading the real world. And I think that's what people were expecting, a darker turn, especially with Dillingers being involved in part of the story. So why couldn't Eve Kim just been an employee at Dillinger Systems? Why couldn't it just have been that? Why did she have to be the NCOM CEO? It could have been much more compelling to see her as just this low-level computer nerd. I don't know, like starting to see what was going on with the development of a new MCP. That's what I was intrigued by. The MCP in the original film was very sinister. He was hacking into the Kremlin and the Pentagon, and things were very dire. And then we just see what goes on in the grid. But that would have been interesting with the development and evolution of technology, how a new MCP could have been this huge threat that actually made its way out into the real world. And that should have been what the story is, at leading up to the introduction or tease of the one who fights for the users, Tron.
Yeah, at some point though, you have to bring the internet into this, because we're still dealing with these closed systems that were true in the first movie, but definitely not true nowadays with advanced networking. Sorry to get nerdy on you guys. The other thing is, this is a trend that's been going on in Hollywood, especially with the big studios, and it's the lack of the ability to tell a story that people can relate to. For example, in the original Tron movie, Flynn, his life work was stolen from him by Dillinger, and that he went in and tried to get it back, and then he found himself in the grid for his troubles. Legacy, Sam was looking for his father, who went into the grid, exiled himself for the sole reason of saving the world. But now you have the son going in wanting to save his father and bring him back. In ARES, though, Eve has a code, and robots are chasing her to get that code. I mean, that's the difference between that's the inability today of Disney and other studios of not being able to tell a story that people can relate to.
And that's not even like deep lore. Like just introduce us to Eve Kim. We're just told that Sam's out of the picture. Eve Kim's now the new CEO. We're told in exposition fashion everything about this character. Even later, ARES tells her personality and her relationship with her sister, and tells us all of that. Like that's not how storytelling
works. Why she's great and why she's important.
I didn't need much, by the way. They could have just explained that Sam did bring the company profitability and experienced a hostile takeover from Dillinger Systems, and he and Cora had to go somewhere to hide because they were developing the ISO. Whatever. Anything other than he retired for personal reasons and ruined it. It just, yeah.
Which, and you can feel that this went through 100 different rewrites. Like there are multiple things. Even the interjection of the stuff where they go into the OG Tron universe, that whole bit, I'm like, there was probably 30 minutes cut out of this.
This is also why the music doesn't work, because in Legacy, everything is finely tuned. Every movement has the sound beat, and you can see it in your head. This is very clearly butchered in the editing room, and it's just music playing.
I think we're also looking at a byproduct of Disney trying to clean up their messes. And we're already seeing that, right? Where it's like, you can tell that they pulled back on a lot of the hyper DEI stuff. We didn't get lectured verbally, but you see it in the casting, you see it in the villain, you see it in certain aspects, but they've pulled back. So there is a part of me that wonders if there was a quite literally unwatchable version of this film. And there is a good chance that it was.
Where was Cameron Monaghan? He was like one of the very first actors to be announced, right alongside Evan Peters and I think Greta Lee. And he was in there for a total of 5 seconds. I think you only saw his face for 2.
I didn't realize it was him.
Went through
It's 6 months.
Training.
Yeah, 6 months of training. They cut him out. Yeah.
Let me ask.
They cut him out of like the 15 writers that had their mitts on the script.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, the director of this movie, I think it's fair to say, is a journeyman. You throw him in, he can just, you want me to direct this? I'll direct that. So I see the movie as being, in a way, made by the corporate overlords. Kind of ironic considering some of the themes of Tron. But for those that like the movie, can you tell us what, because I am willing to admit the spectacle I really enjoyed. The action scenes I did enjoy. And the theater we saw it in IMAX, look, I have never heard it that loud at AMC Burbank 16. So there were parts I can't deny. I had a smile on my face. I mean, ultimately fell apart for me. We've done our review. But for those that liked it, tell me what you liked about it. And by those, I mean, Blaine, could you tell me why you liked it? And then Badger wants to talk to you. Privately.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No, anyways, well, tell us. First of all, you're not alone. A lot of people are saying, "Hey, Nerdrotic Sam Flynn went to do witness protection." Oh, wait, I didn't get to read it. Well, change. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's your
King, right? It's his character,
theory, right?
He's dead or chilling in Costa Rica.
Maybe both. Probably both.
Gary did a 9-hour nooner by himself this morning. You should get an award for that. But love you, Gary. But what you're not alone. I'm seeing other people say, "Hey, why do people hate this so much? I had fun." Please tell us.
Well, and so that is kind of me in a nutshell. In my the way that I approach things is I kind of view things on a different scale in general. I've said this elsewhere, but I come from a much different background. I am blue collar at my core. I ran a trucking company, worked in automotive, like all these different things, right? And so I'm around these types of people that would they just wanted to spend some money to have fun at the theater, right? And they're not stuck in our microcosm of like the online sphere of the YouTube conversations of the hypercritical analysis, right? So like, and that was a lot of my motivation for creating Criticless, right, is to make this atmosphere where regular people could come and see the thoughts and opinions of just your standard everyday viewer, right? Where somebody's just going to go in and they're like, hey, I'm going to buy a bucket of popcorn. As long as I understand what's happening on screen and it looks good and it feels good and I get good action and music and whatever, like I have fun and I can walk out and be like, hey, I took my kids and this wasn't inappropriate. I wasn't mad about seeing it and I had a good enough time. And so that's kind of when I go into these type of blockbusters, I'm like, look, if I can come away from it and be like, hey, I had an exciting time. What I saw with my eyes was cool. Like it was interesting. And what I heard with my ears and this awesome, Trent Reznor soundtrack with 9 Inch Nails, like it was awesome. Not as good as Daft Punk, but it was good. Like I got the vibes. And Tron for me has always been the vibes. Legacy in general was a vibe. And this movie was still that vibe. Was it as good? No. But was the director attached as good? No. So yes, this movie absolutely has flaws, but I'm sitting there watching the film. I'm tapping my foot. I'm digging the music. I'm liking what I'm seeing. There's cool tech happening, whatever. I'm getting pulled from action story beat to action story beat, and I had a good enough time. So it's like I could see just an average standard viewer that's not a critic, that's not somebody that's trying to pick things apart, go in and be like, I had fun. And I think that there is an audience that is doing that. I don't think that most of those people are even coming away being like, this is the best film I've ever seen. And every film doesn't have to be that, right? And so that's kind of where I'm coming from with my approach on this movie. And I do with other films, and I did with Minecraft and some of these other goofy movies that a lot of people in the sphere absolutely hate, but I'm like, yeah, but it's fun, right? Like I had fun. So, that's typically how I approach these blockbuster, get a bucket of popcorn and chill. And that's what this movie was.
Now, when you say nothing objectionable for kids, I assume you mean gay shit. So there is something when I see, like, for example, if Greta Lee was really, the focus, why wasn't there some romance with her and another character?
Right.
Which to me, whenever a character, you can look on it as she might have been gay. He might have been gay. I mean, they don't overtly say that. She might have been.
She exuded zero sexuality. Just real quick to respond to that, bro. For 10 years, I was blue collar in a kitchen. You know what we complained about? Shitty movies.
Right.
Shitty movies. Well, honestly, all I heard from that is I'm glad that you and regular people like TV dinners, but we can step it up a bit and you'll all still enjoy it. But the level of quality and acceptance has just gone so far down. And no, it's just not even the same vibe at all, by the way. Not even the same vibe.
I love popcorn movies. I love popcorn movies. But if you don't have at least likable characters that you want to follow, I think that's then pretty spectacle doesn't matter. And the first two films had such charm, filled with likable characters and compelling villains. In the original, the MCP and Sark, and the Tron Legacy as well, with Clue continued on that and had a new creative vision too. So it wasn't just copying everything. It felt unique in its own way and pushing it forward. And they accompanied, that interesting story accompanied the stunning visuals and epic soundtrack. And I expected no less from this film. Going in, I just thought, even if it was simple stories can be great. I loved F1 and Tron Legacy was simple, but it had heart. It had a story I could follow. And this I just left with more questions about why is the permanence code in Alaska when it's literally sitting in the NCOM building the whole time? Why was that a thing? Why did that? And there's just so many questions that just it didn't have to be lore intensive, but it could at least just been filled with likable characters that I cared about.
Right. And I'm not denying any of that. And I mean, that's the thing, is that this is absolutely a case of style over substance all the way across the board. And I'm not going to deny that or say that this is a perfect story, because it's absolutely not. And there are messy things. And like I said, I have a strong feeling that they did pick this apart. I think it's more of my approach of, and I get what you're saying about, there are plenty of people in that blue collar world or whatever that do complain about bad films. And I'm not saying that it's invalid to say that this is bad or even to not like it. I am just saying that a lot of the discussion around film has become so like hyper polarized and aggressive in there, even like with the whole slop terminology, all that stuff, like there is a layer of aggression to it. And so when there are people that aren't part of this sphere that have not heard it, they're just like, why am I being insulted for having fun at this movie? Where it's like, I get it. It's kind of that analogy of going to a Michelin star restaurant versus having your favorite cheeseburger. And sometimes you want one or the other, right? And sometimes it's okay to go and eat a shitty cheeseburger and be like, this is a delicious cheeseburger and I enjoyed it. It was kind of shitty, but it was still great, right?
This isn't a shitty cheeseburger. It's cheeseburger in a can. And I'm glad that people that are upset saying that you loved it, great. We will never see another Tron movie. It's going to make less than Morbius. Right. So you might have enjoyed it, but now because of it, because you only had one element, bright lights, we're never going to see another Tron movie. As opposed to if they respectfully treated the lore and done all the vibe and style, then it would have resonated more.
I agree. I mean, I agree that they should have stuck to the lore. I am not arguing with you there. I'm pissed as shit. Like, I left the movie actively mad that we didn't get Sam. Like that was complete trash. That we didn't get Cora, that we didn't get. Now with Tron, I feel like they kind of started to push out Tron a little bit in Legacy as well. I wasn't really expecting Tron, but still, like they did a huge disservice to all the fans. And that is the thing, is that there was a way to give us Sam, even with this current plot. Like, even with the way that this was made, they could have still given him Sam, and they chose not to. Massive mistake. But the people that aren't mega fans of this movie, on the same hand, they aren't necessarily going to come see this and be like, where was Sam? Because clearly a lot of people didn't even see the original. So it's
I think that's kind of the problem, right? Is that Tron isn't this giant franchise like Star Wars or something. They're trying to do everything they can to make this as accessible as possible to most people and maybe grow a new audience. And I think they're feeling like the lore really isn't bringing people in. Let's try something different. Let's try spectacle over substance. Let's try to introduce some new characters. Let Jared Leto be the forefront of this thing. Let his star power.
9 years ago when they started this. Right.
I mean, it was he's the reason that this movie exists, because this movie doesn't exist without him pushing it. So I think that was their whole point of this movie even existing in the first place, is that Jared Leto wanted to do it. He wanted a star vehicle for himself But I don't know how much he cares about the franchise if he let this slop get out the door. It's like, okay, did you really care about this, Jared Leto? Because you seem to like have completely gone away from what made Tron.
Well, and
so I don't know how this moves forward. Like Badger says, like you're not going to get another one. I don't think they're growing new fans. It's like everything that we've seen from modern Hollywood. They try to attach themselves to a new fan base. All right, let's go get the modern audience. But then the modern audience rejected it. You pissed off the people that actually did like the franchise. So what are you left with? All right, you're left with an empty sack of nothing, declining interest in the franchise, even more so than there was. So I think at some point in time, Hollywood, Jared Leto would have been smart just to say, I want to do my own thing. I'm not going to attach it to the Tron name, and let me just go forward. And let's leave Tron to the Tron fans and let somebody who really cares about this franchise do the next movie.
Right.
That's what should have happened.
Well,
they
Jared
keep
Leto
undercutting like these creators like Leto. Sorry, Sev.
Well, Jared Leto's an egomaniac, so I honestly think that like as long as the movie centered around him and what he wanted, he'll be happy with it regardless. But honestly, like I would be insulted, as a Tron fan, thinking that I'm going to get a 4-star meal and I end up getting a burger. But you know what? The vibes of the restaurant was cool, so I'm just going to accept it and move on. And like it is kind of insulting. Like you're going in there for a Tron movie and you're being served a shitty burger. And on the bright lights, the spectacle, the 9-inch nails, which I hated. I know a lot of people were talking about like the score and the soundtrack. I did not like it. It was just whiplash going back and forth. Nothing really happened in the first half of the movie. And then the second half, I was just like, I was even more bored. I don't care about the spectacle. The story is what mattered. And it just completely fell flat. And it's so insulting. Like I completely get it. But if it's all about the vibes for you and you're having fun, then that's completely fine. But, if you're using the analogy of a burger and, you're expecting a 4-star meal, but you're getting a burger, and you're totally fine eating the burger because it's good, it's fun. But honestly, like with using that analogy, if it's just insulting. Like you're expecting a really good meal and then you end up getting a burger, but you're totally okay with it because the vibes of the restaurant was cool. Like
worse, if you paid for a good burger and got that's the problem.
Well, and even with the vibes. So I just want to compare this to another franchise, which is the Jurassic Park franchise. Bingo. I don't like those the most recent movies, but a lot of people love this most recent one, Rebirth, because it was set on an island. I'm sure I love seeing that, and they went back to basics in that regard. And plenty of people like those movies, but I didn't like this last one. I just prefer the original. I wish these stories would be taken seriously, have depth of themes and character development. And Jurassic Park, to me, I mean, maybe a lot of people view it the same way as Tron. It turned your brain off, dumb adventure just with dinosaurs. But to me, that first movie, it went deeper. It examining the pitfalls of those who think they can play God and control a force of nature. But some of the most memorable parts of that film are simply characters talking to each other because the writing is so good. And I can't remember a single line of dialogue for any of the other Jurassic World movies. And that's just what I think just on vibes too. We didn't even see the grid for like most of the movie. I think it was just 20% of the film. When we were on the grid, it was so small. And then we just
see the grid. You saw a building within the grid.
Right.
Yeah, well, so even then, at least the Jurassic Park franchise gave you primarily dinosaurs, and at least in this new one, you're on an island and I don't know, but yeah, if you don't even have the primary vibes of it, I think it fell short. Now I thought we would at least get half in the real world, half in the grid, because it said worlds colliding, and I didn't even get that. But yeah, that's just the vibes even then weren't working for me. And I even enjoyed Superman, the James Gunn Superman, because the least characters were that I liked, but I didn't even have that.
Verbal riot. Axel Braun made a better Tron movie. That's pretty funny.
I just hope we get a new one, because this is what we were served. Yeah. And with obviously they tease the next one, and you better give us the next one. I don't know who's going to write it.
Well, audience didn't respond to Tron.
So. What was the tease, Elaine? What was the tease that they set up for the next one?
Oh, it was Dillinger turning into
became Sark.
No, that's not the tease. It's the fucking third time we saw that picture of Sam and Cora and Jared going to look for it. With the one they knew we wanted it.
By the way, okay, so one thing I'm just weirded out by when it comes to ARES, he's still a Dillinger program. He's a super soldier military AI who's just now permanent in the real world now, and no one's concerned about this. he can literally do whatever he wants. And apparently,
Well,
I don't know,
human.
can he not be de-resed, or are we just assuming that he's going to live a peaceful life wherever?
Well,
I
and we
don't
don't know
know.
the
And
same with
worse, he
Cora
has
either,
an
right?
Asian fetish as well.
Be whatever, rid Jesus, start his own cult, and then
Well, look,
That would mirror real life. He is a cult leader.
Oh yeah, let's not get into that necessarily.
Allegedly, in
I
my
wanted
mind.
to thank Blaine for kind of taking the flack here.
Put him through a struggle
But I
session.
still look, there are things. There's a movie called Logan's Run. No one here has seen, except for Gary in the chat, that I love because I saw it when I was a little kid, and it was the first time I saw boobs on screen. And that movie, when you look, it's very dated, has a very good score, great acting, but it's very cheap looking. It's 70s sci-fi. I'm not going to convince you to like to like Logan's Run, but there are things reasons we all have for why we like what we like. But I want to have some other Tron related topics we can talk about. Did you happen to see? I know you're all Jimmy Kimmel fans, huge Jimmy Kimmel fans right now. So you may have seen Jeff Bridges on the Jimmy Kimmel show talking. He goes into his Big Lebowski character, the dude, and
Chris.
he has something to say. Have you seen this?
No, I say before you make me not like Jeff Bridges for his political opinions, I just wanted to say to Blaine, the reason the aggression is just like, bro, we're tired of seeing our beloved franchises taken and abused by other people. And even if you found enjoyment, it's like, yeah, but that's kind of worse. That's because it'll just keep happening. And that's where the frustration comes from.
I do get that. And I think that the thing is that there's a lot of other just your standard viewers who are going to stumble into these things, whatever, and they don't understand that. I'm not
right, but that's my point. Like Halo, right? A bunch of people are going to see Halo and think that that's the thing, right? And it will not get nearly as many had they just adapted it properly. So it's a diminishing returns, is what we keep.
No, I completely agree on all these things. That's the thing is I was one of these people. That's the reason that I started Criticless, right? Like I saw all this stuff long ago and was being called like ridiculous and over the top for pointing shit out 10 years ago, right? But like now I'm at this point where I do want to see, like I'm hearing, because that's the thing within Criticless, we have a lot of people in the space that don't comment on here, that don't use other social medias, that aren't other places, and they're in here being like, I don't get it, I'm still enjoying this stuff, right? Like I'm still having fun. And so I understand both sides of the argument, right? And that's kind of my thing, is to try and see some sort of balance and be like, look, there's still these issues here, and we got to make things better because we are tired of them destroying everything we love. And I do think
will eventually be called a hater. You will eventually be called the hater, even if you point out all the nuance. It's like, that's why I stopped even trying. Yeah, no matter what, you will be called. So when everyone's saying that, like, listen to Blaine, he just wants people to enjoy. Here's what I'm saying: you listen to us, you will still like it because you guys enjoy this. So trust me, you'll still like when we get what we want, and then everyone will like it, as opposed to just one group that, in my opinion, will just accept whatever it is.
I think everyone's opinions should be. Everyone's opinions are valid. And I'm not quashing anyone else's because we disagree. This is what fandom is about, and we can agree to disagree. And this is, and yeah, I've enjoyed talking with people. Like, this is great. This is what nerding out is. And yeah, over the course of all of this discourse recently, I've just been attacked for because I was optimistic at first, and then when I found out more information about the movie and wasn't, and was just expressing my negative feelings, was attacked just for that, just the toxic positivity of it. And I'm just saying, this is just a part of the fandom. I just want the studios to know the pulse of the fandom. So I think everyone should share their opinion and just see what everyone wants. So, yeah.
Well,
I agree.
I mean, I will say this. Wait, who dropped off? Somebody dropped off. Steph. She'll be back. But I just want to say, I love a variety of opinions. I want to be convinced to see what you saw, Blaine, through your eyes, like what you liked about it. I've been introduced to things or said, if you look at this movie from this perspective, it's really about this. I love it. It's a nerd conversation that I don't get offended by people's opinions about a movie. I want to hear different opinions. The best is when Alan and I don't agree. I don't think Alan is wrong. I think he just sees it differently. He thinks I'm wrong, but that's he's free to feel that.
You are wrong, yeah.
But hey, but real quick, let's look at this. because I know we love when celebrities talk politics. So let's take a look at this real quick here. This is Jeff Bridges goes into his Big Lebowski character on Jimmy Kimmel and has some thoughts. And let's hear what he has to say here.
The dude here. So, yeah, man. Can we just all calm the down? I mean, come on. I'm talking about, you know, all the wars, the fighting, the canceling. I mean, let's just chill out, man. Come on, tone it down, you know. We're like at, what, 9? We ought to be at 0, you know, or 0.5 at max, right, Guillermo?
You're right, mister. The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, gracias, amigo. Yeah, and just call me dude. Yeah.
Okay, dude.
Yeah, ice. Let's get ice off our streets and into our beverages. This aggression will not stand, huh? Right?
Right.
So let's just abide, huh? Abide together. Yes, we can do this. Now, that's just like my opinion, but it's a good one, don't you
That's
think,
a pretty
Jay?
great opinion,
Yeah,
I
man.
think. Thank you, dude.
All right. So what do we think of Jeff
I agree with them.
Bridges?
Let's let ICE hurry up and finish their job and get every single illegal immigrant out, which is what we voted for, and then we can get them off streets.
Quickly, let's go. All right, let's move it. Hurry it up.
Thank
we
you.
can abide. Then we can abide.
I abide
we
by
can all
that, sure.
abide together once the criminals are gone. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. Let's do it.
I prefer my celebrities to, I loved when they would have great conversations about the movie itself and not like, does everything have to be a message? Now, the funny thing is, I know none of you saw it because nobody's watching Kimmel at this point. I mean,
I'm more of a
no
Craig
one.
Ferguson.
Yeah, it really is. Late night is dead, and after Colbert is gone and Kimmel is gone, I believe none of those shows will be replaced with other shows. The format is dead, and maybe getting back. I'd like to hear Jeff Bridges talk about Tron ARES and his thoughts and why he dressed like Jor-El from Krypton. Which is fine. It's just fine. I just want to hear that nerd stuff.
What even was he? Could you explain your character and your appearance for all of 5 minutes?
I just think it almost does more damage to jump in and talk. It can push people the other way, or it can have people tune out, and you're not selling your movie. One more, on another topic related to Tron. Here is, and this is from Nerd Cookies, actually, a tweet that got a lot of traction. Follow nerd at nerd_cookies on X. Eve Kim is the Rey Skywalker of Tron ARES. Elaine, care to explain your post?
Yeah, so and I use the name Rey Skywalker on purpose. I know that's controversial in its use. People say, no, it's Rey Palpatine. I totally get it. But it basically just surmises what the purpose of the character is. And that's what I was looking at with the comparison to Eve Kim. It's not, people were saying, oh, well, she struggled more than Rey. She wasn't as OP as Rey. Well, obviously these are two completely different universes, but it's the purpose of why the character exists that I drew that comparison. And it's just in the name. Rey just was, her entire existence was just to replace Luke Skywalker. And this is what the purpose of Eve Kim was. All of her identity is just to replace Sam Flynn. Like she also is a CEO of Encom. She also is doing all these things, video game designer. This is just what we're told at the opening minutes. We're not introduced.
Motorcycle, leather jacket.
Why she has to also just drive a motor? Why? Why can't she just have her own identity? And same thing with Rey. It's like she doesn't have an identity, but to just I'm the Force is female kind of thing, and we need a female in this situation. And we can't just have a well-written female character. It's embodied in all of the tropes of modern Hollywood stereotypes with a strong female character. And I feel like Rey Skywalker just represents the epitome of what that means. And Eve Kim, we're just told that she's the bestest ever. She's the best video game designer. She's popular. She's loved by everyone. ARES just aligns with her just because he sees a news montage about her, and that was enough. We just don't see anything about what she's experiencing. There is no hero's journey. It's just forced upon us. It's just a series of events centered around this character, and there is no substance behind her, no motivation, no background, no context. It is simply just she's here simply to just take the place of Sam Flynn, who was unceremoniously, with the drop of one line, pushed out of the picture. And originally this script was conceived for the returning characters of Legacy. They had all signed on for that other film. So if in somewhere in this bones or skeleton of the script, clearly some of this stuff was originally supposed to be Sam Flynn wrestling with the death of his father that had just happened, and now she also has a sister who died. Yeah, it was clearly supposed to be a Flynn Dillinger going head to head, and that would have been interesting. But yes, just the entire purpose of the character is just to replace Sam Flynn, no other identity of her own besides that. So,
Elaine, you forget that her sister died. The other thing is
character.
Your critics, I don't understand, but your critics, wouldn't they agree with the statement you just made?
I don't know. They probably simped for Rey Skywalker at one point. That's what it seems like. They just moved on to something new.
Well, it was Gary from Nerdrotic that pointed out that basically the men make weapons. She made a tree. At the end of the movie, she solves starvation all over the world and fixes, diseases from her. So she's a healer, and the men,
all things Sam was supposed to do with Cora. The digital DNA of the ISO was supposed to completely change everything. And no,
right.
Yeah,
it's just her with her permanence code she discovered on the 80s fucking computer or something like
And again, she could have just been just a regular no-name person working at Dillinger Systems. And I think that would have been much more compelling. But she's just automatically given this backstory, this Wikipedia page of facts that used to be Sam Flynn. It's just given to her now. But that's not interesting. That's not character development. And when we're introduced to Sam Flynn in Legacy, it's just a father opening narration. And it turns out to be a conversation of a father-son. And we see their relationship. We see that they have a good relationship. And he's fascinated by the stories of the grid. That's storytelling. That's introducing us to the character. We had none of that in the entirety of this film. So if you can't get me to care about these characters, then that's why the comparison is drawn. So, something that's underwritten, no plan whatsoever. It's simply just to check a box. And frankly, it's insulting to it. No one likes this. If they're saying that, for women, we don't like this.
There's plenty of other people besides me that like it. But I mean, there are a lot of folks, and I'm saying outside of like the people that just constantly shill for Disney, I am seeing, at least within Criticless, there are more people, at least in this community, because that's mostly what we have on Criticless. There are, more people that dislike it than do, which is fine. And I absolutely get why people aren't. And it's kind of one of those things too, where I don't think no one's over the moon about this movie. Even the people that are like, yeah, it's not bad. Like nobody's like, yeah, this is as good as Legacy, at least within this kind of sphere. So, but I guess my question is as well, because I really do think that there was likely a version that wasn't like this, right? Where and I can feel it in here, and you can feel it in the movie, but it is an absolute shame. And I think that we've seen Disney time and time again steamroll creators, change what they're making, insert all of this crap. So it's like I wonder if there was a version of this that wasn't so much of the girl boss stuff, the Rey Skywalkering of this, where like you said, that she's just some other side character next to Sam. Because I think that
I guarantee there was until the HR department got to look at the script. It was, if you've been watching our channel for a while, we've exposed how they have like checklists. They do have, there has to be a and there was that you can find it, Atomic Lori, the screen grabs from 4 different fantasy shows, and you really can't tell. Everybody's diverse, but the shows are unrecognizable because they're so generic. I don't have a problem with all types of characters, all types of ethnicities. Who cares? But when there's a sameness about it, where they're making the same decisions, it's almost like they sit there with the check boxes, making sure we've covered all our bases. So it makes everything generic and boring. That's my issue.
People are tired. Just to say, that's what it is, Blaine. People are tired of bad things. They're tired of, even if they know it's still true, hearing us point out all the bad things. And at a certain point, they just want the shelling to stop. They want to act like there's no more battle going on. And they just want to sit there and eat their MREs in peace. And a lot of us are like, right, but if we do that, we're just going to sit here in this horrible stalemate. We need to keep going because it's not, I get it. I'm tired too of seeing it all, but I cannot abide. I cannot abide. I try. Right. I steel man the shit out of James Gunn and Superman. Went to see it 3 times trying to convince myself and find something to like. I try to like everything, but I just can't ignore all the blatant affronts, like Nerd Cookies has pointed out. It just keeps happening.
Well, and that's the thing. They bludgeoned us to death to where our standards absolutely have lowered. Like, there is no denying that. So when anything is even kind of okay, some of us are just like, well, it wasn't total shit. Like, I kind of had a good time.
We're worth better. Everyone here is worth better.
Well,
right.
Tron is not a huge IP. Tron is not Marvel. Tron is not Star Wars. Tron is not Indiana Jones. But even Star Wars and Marvel and Indiana Jones can fail. There was just so much writing on this film. They just didn't care to write something good, even though 15 people had their mitts on it. And they should have given the fans what they wanted. They should have given people a great story. It could have been simple. It didn't have to be deep in the lore. Just give us a simple story with likable characters that doesn't trample on any existing events that already happened. And there you go. But they just assumed, because big budget and flashy lights and Jared Leto, I don't know, that people would just come and be happy to open up their wallets for this.
Well,
and
they've never respected this franchise either. None of us brought up the TV show. I freaking love the TV show. It's fantastic. They abandoned it after 1 single season.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this. This is the tweet. Thank you, Steph, for sending this. From John A. Douglas. This is from 4 different TV shows. I think I can tell one. One of those is Willow.
Yeah.
Look at
Jesus.
Yeah,
same costume designer.
That's Willow.
Yeah, that's what I said. Do they have the same costume designer?
What's that? Blood?
It's the same outfit shows.
Yeah, that's Willow.
That's Willow. Yeah.
You can't tell
Wheel
what
of
the
Time.
world is. It's a fantasy world.
Blood Orange.
That's
generic.
Blood. Okay,
I think I've seen that quote on Amazon.
All of those costumes are terrible. I dislike all of these costumes simply because it doesn't look real. Like, they don't look like they've lived within this world. Everybody is way too clean. They look like they're in a stage production. They don't look like these are clothes that are worn that they use on a daily basis. There's no holes in them. There's no rips and anything. It's way too clean. And that just really irks me, especially with shows like these, like fantasy shows. I can't stand how clean everything looks.
No verisimilitude.
It immediately will take me out of anything.
Happy
That
birthday, Robert.
actually I enjoyed from the Knights of the Seven Kingdoms trailer. That was the one thing that I specifically liked about it. There's like mud and dirt and it looks lived in. There's like an atmosphere. Like, oh, okay, this might be good.
Yeah.
You can get
I want the dirty clothes. I want the world to look. I want the characters to look like they actually live in the world. Like, give them some grittiness. When it looks like all of their clothes have just been freshly laundered and they've put them on, hair looks great, makeup looks great. It just takes me out of it completely.
Look at Aragorn. Bro looked muddy as fuck. I know he slept outside sometimes to stay in character, but like he looked like he belonged in that world. Like he was going cross country. He looked like he's walking through muddy streets. Same thing with Game of Thrones.
And details like that matter. Like one thing about Ares, I did not like Jared Leto's beard and long hair. It stood out as strange against everything that we've seen prior to this. Just
Why does
didn't
the
look.
program have that?
Yeah, everyone should look clean and sleek. And why does he have it? Why does he look the same in every role that he's in? I can't be immersed into this world when he literally looks like he just came off the set of Morbius.
My headcanon was that he had looked up the history of Ares, and that's how he thought Ares looked, and so he modified himself. I can headcanon a lot of shit away and find enjoyment in it. Like that, Jared was the best part about that movie to me, and the only time I smiled is the stupid color change at the end, which didn't make sense. But like, yeah, I'll try. That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to like shit, but there's certain things that I can't.
He had his long hair and beard because that's just his look. That's Jared Leto's look.
Yeah.
That's his daily,
It's a
everyday look.
trademark.
His long
Especially
hair
at
and
the
beard.
end. At the end, he's just
turned
Jared
into Jared
Leto.
Leto.
at a
Yeah,
restaurant.
no,
Jared
he turned into Jared Leto.
Like, don't tell me that this man is a method actor who refuses to cut his hair and shave for his
Right.
roles.
He
Like,
can't go on
had
stage
people
with 30
walking
seconds to Mars
around
with
the
that.
set having to call him like Ares or something because he's so method in this movie. Yet he refused to get clean cut for it to actually look like a program.
Well, when he played the Joker in Suicide Squad, in that brief part we saw him in, he was full method, was in character the whole time, and sent dead rats, to all of his castmates just to freak them out. I don't know. It is what it is. Hey, one last Tron related topic before we go to soups and other news. Ranking the Tron franchise. Tron Ares versus Tron Legacy versus Tron. I'll go first. They're all flawed. Everyone's crapping on Tron Ares like it's like, look, I remember when Tron Legacy came out. I didn't like the Uncanny Valley, Jeff Bridges, the way he looked in that movie. The story, I think, was way better, but the technology was not there. And even the original Tron, which I saw in first run when I was a kid, that I loved aspects of it. I remember thinking parts of it were pretty dumb. I don't know. Tron is a great idea for a series of films, comics, video games, whatever. I don't think any of these movies have ever reached the heights. And so when each new one comes out, it's like, well, this one's god awful. The other ones, I mean, look, maybe they were better in certain aspects, but I remember seeing the original Tron in the theater and thinking, I love the world. What the heck is some of the dumb stuff in this movie? You know, like, look, I watched it recently when they're taking their little power frisbees and drinking the water. They're just things that are kind of goofy and weird and also fanciful and fun. The original Tron is my favorite. Legacy carried on aspects of that story. The new film, while the spectacle is the best we've ever seen it, I think falls short story-wise. Anything to say about comparing these movies and ranking them, step up and
I take them in order. Tron,
Please.
Legacy, and then Ares. Boom, boom, boom. Tron's never been like a beloved franchise where I've just like locked in and watched the movie multiple times. I've probably seen Legacy twice. I've seen the original Tron probably 4 or 5 times in my lifetime. And it's fine. It's a fun movie. You know, it's a lot of nostalgia for me growing up in that time frame in the 80s. A lot of kids were always talking about Tron, playing the video game and, you know, everything like that at the arcades. That was pretty much it, though. But yeah, I think, you know, just in order, Tron, Legacy, and then Ares, that's how I would rank them.
Yeah, I'm Legacy first, and then just because of I think it's the fully realized. Obviously, things progress technologically, and I've seen that movie multiple times. I'll watch it again multiple times. I think it's the perfect combination of soundtrack, the characters, the story, the world, and I wish we could have gotten that third part. I made my prediction before it even came out that there will come a time when people will say, "What's your favorite Tron movie?" and then people will be like, "Well, there's only 2 of them." I don't think that prediction is wrong. So yeah, Ares obviously is a third, but to me that's another world. That's an Elseworlds.
Yeah, I think it's similar to me to Star Wars in that I like Empire Strikes Back more than the original Star Wars film, even though it's great and it establishes the universe and the characters, so it's great world building. But then the sequel really just takes it up a notch, and they have a great direction, great where the story goes, great drama and character development. I feel the same, a similar way that Tron Legacy is that to me. But Tron is just established this incredible world that's so unique. And, I love science fiction, and there's been so many different kinds of IPs that have examined AI, Blade Runner, Battlestar Galactica, Terminator, The Matrix. We've had so many kinds of stories that are great and original in their own right, that have a different take on it. And Tron just was more fanciful to me. It had more heart and charm to it, and had a different take on it. It anthropomorphized the programs to where we were kind of examining the nature of humanity through this world that humans were a part of creating. So I don't know, it's just really interesting, the deeper themes that it delves into, even going into the spiritual themes and how that connects to technology was just really original to me. And again, but the heart of it is the characters that were so great from that original film, and just continued on the tradition with Legacy, and even more so. That's the heart and soul of it, of these IPs, is the characters, their journeys, and that's what makes it stand the test of time. And ARES, to me, well, I don't know if I'll ever see this again or revisit it, because I don't need to. It wasn't connected in any significant way, and that's just how I feel. It's just someone's fan fiction, is what it turns out to me. So it's only 2 movies in one show.
To me, I like the first Tron just because of the world it built. When at the end of the first Tron movie, you could kind of see the potential that the story had. But I have to give it to Legacy. It was the much more emotional story.
Really?
Yeah, because it was about a son trying to find his father and bring him back. The father
I'm
who
glad to
left
hear you
him
say
and
it.
disappeared.
Yeah.
I mean, that there's nothing more emotional than that in any of the stories. And then you have that ending of Sam and Cora off on the bike. It's an emotional story, and I appreciate that more. And again, after that movie, you could see the potential of another story coming out of that. With ARES, it's just another action movie.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm Legacy first and foremost. I love Legacy. I've seen it so many times. Like, it is one of my all-time favorite films. I watch it all the time. I listen to the soundtrack in my personal time. If you look at Criticless, it's fully synthwave in its design, in its branding, all of that stuff. I love the synthwave stuff and just that vibe. Legacy is fantastic.
Did you get to see it 3D?
Back when it came out?
Yeah.
Yes.
So good.
Yes,
yeah.
It's so good. Yeah, it's fantastic. And I mean, it was one of those things. Once my kids got old enough to watch it, I was like, all right, we're going to watch this. Y'all need to see it. Like, and I adore it. I think it's a near fantastic, like perfect movie, even though I know that it's not perfect. In my head, it is. But
yes, that was the point of the movie, right? It's unobtainable, but it's right in front of us all the time. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, it is. And then I think Tron is definitely second, where it's not, it's not a perfect movie. I think it's got some slow parts. It's not perfect, but it's a product of its time for sure. But I liked it. And then ARES is last, and that ranking in itself is exactly how it's ranked on Criticless currently, is in that order. And I think that's where most people will sit. And I think that the people that are even in the camp that I am in, where they're just like, hey, I had fun, they are just kind of like me, viewing it as almost this Elseworlds tale that is still super flawed and has problems. Like, cannot deny any of that stuff. But it's one of those things. That's definitely the order for me. And I think that's where most people go. And I actually would watch it again. And I've listened to the soundtrack since seeing it. And I still kind of keep thinking about it. And like I said, even flaws and all, I still kind of want to see it again, just because of the visuals and the things that I liked and just the vibe of it, because we don't get this anywhere else. Like it or not, we don't. Nobody else is putting out Tron-like stuff. So it's kind of one of those things where if this is as close as I can get, like, I'll see it here and there, but it's definitely not going to be something I watch like Legacy, regularly by any means.
But no matter what, when you like find someone who likes Tron, like at a convention or a comic book store, you're like, oh, I found you like Tron too? Remember the action figures and there's a whole, it's like one of the obscure franchises that if you find someone that likes it, you want to be friends, like Crow. Yeah, I'm alone with Crow. But
anytime I meet someone with a frisbee, I say, "You like Tron too?"
I would say the great thing about Tron Legacy in the theaters is just like Wizard of Oz is like black and white. And when she goes to Oz, it turns into color. It was a 2D film until he goes into the grid, and then the 3D came on, and it was like
so good.
It just works so well. I'd never seen that. I was like, oh, and then the music and like it just takes you. I said Wizard of Oz. You son of a bitch.
They should have re-released.
No one had ever done that before.
They should have re-released Legacy before ARES.
I know.
In theaters, missed up.
Well,
all I can say,
Disney did do it. They did a marathon Thursday night.
Can you imagine that at the Sphere though? Tron Legacy.
See, now that's something I
that would be really cool.
But I'm looking forward to discounted popcorn buckets because Alan, you were like, should I get this? I'm like,
the arcade one or the light cycle?
Wait a couple weeks. Wait a couple weeks. They'll be on discount. Anyone else want to chime in before we go to soups?
Tron Legacy is my number one. It was actually my introduction to Tron because I was never like introduced to Tron at any point in my life. So that was the very first one that I ever watched. And after I watched that, I went back and watched Tron, and I thought they were really good. Legacy was excellent, though. It was an excellent film. I walked out like actually enjoying. I didn't think I was going to enjoy myself. I didn't know what I was in for, but I loved it. Even just being someone who's never watched any sort of Tron movie, introduced to Tron, nothing. I loved Legacy. It was so good.
Quite helpful.
And then so Legacy, Tron, and then ARES, the Jared Leto project.
I don't want to see Tron at the Sphere because I don't want to see AI mess with it.
I think that's the one time it will work though.
All right, hey, let's go to soups. We got a lot and they're all about Tron mostly. Here we go.
Caveat Ties member for 16 months. Hey Blaine, met him because of Film Threat.
Oh, that's great.
We have so many Film Threat people that you won't find anywhere else on the internet, but they use Criticless every day, all the time. And so this audience is awesome, and they thrive in our environment because it is entertainment focused. So I appreciate all the people that come from Film Threat. It's a great bunch.
Can I upload all my reviews on one single file?
We have discussed that. We're trying to figure out a good way. We're thinking on it.
Just give me the primary key of the movies, and then I'll just add the rest.
Cole Hauser, praise Ra for 2. Hail Film Threat, Cookies, Steph, and Blaine.
Hail. Thank you so much.
Cole Hauser again. And Badger. Shout out. 1982 Tron is my favorite.
I love it.
Movies America for 2. Hey all, welcome Blaine. And Tron ARES still sucks.
That's, you know what?
Yeah.
That's okay. All are welcome in this house.
All are welcome. Connor Dorian for 5. The one TV show that I am excited for is Welcome to Derry.
I hope it's good.
I hope it's good
I'm looking
too.
forward to that.
We all hope it's good. Logan Misiak for 5. I thought ARES was okay, but I love Legacy. Visually, ARES looked beautiful. I probably give ARES a 6.8 out of 10.
And by the way, Legacy is on sale. Tron Legacy is on sale on Fandango. Digital, it's $5.
If it's the 4K, it looks absolutely great.
Yeah.
Zuki, member for 1 month. Happy Monday, everyone. Please go see Happy End, the debut film by Neo Sora. It is beautiful. My favorite film of the year.
Haven't heard of it.
Happy End.
But Alan and I see all the Oscar movies, so eventually we'll see it. Thank you.
Logan Misiak again for 2. Coolest part in the movie was the jet ski scene.
Agreed.
Yep.
Funny and Dark for 199. Elaine, I made a SG-1 Star Trek parody. It's on his channel.
Nice.
Jedi, member for 9 months. They should have just called the movie ARES.
ARES, a Tron story.
A Tron story? Yeah.
Right.
Space paranoid story.
Again, Tron's a brand.
Right.
Lucas Garrett for 5. Looks like if we want a continuation of Sam and Cora's story, we might have to make it with AI prompts. We can't depend on Disney to do the work. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Fans will do the work in the future for sure.
I'm just going to make my own Star Wars series eventually. Geek Truth 64 for 2. Tron Legacy Flynn Lives special is the true sequel.
Thank you, Geek Truth 64. Appreciate you. We got to get you on one of these days too.
Graph Web for 2. In the name of all that is holy, hashtag cancel Disney Plus. Thank you, Graph Web. Spade 2187 for $4.99. Chris, I went to New York Comic Con over the weekend and love meeting people who love the same thing you do. Doesn't matter what color you are, we are all nerds.
Yeah, I never really, I mean, the nerd community is the most welcoming community. I was always just excited to meet someone who like, you like Dune? You know, what are the Dune books you've read? Or, you know what I mean? It's like, no one ever cared about what anyone looked like or male or female. It was like, we're all a fan of like nerd shit. So we're all probably kind of, you know, we were in our own little world. When I read books over the summer. That's what I did. Yes, we went to the beach, but I brought a book. Okay. That's what I was like as a kid. I did not tan. I just reflected light and or burned in the sun. So yes, I love that. Thanks, Spade.
The beach is the worst place for a book. I'll tell you.
No, it's fun to sit there and read.
Now you get sand in it, and then the water warps it, especially if it's a hardcover book, and then the sun will definitely warp it. And then the cover is ruined. There's just no way to save a cover.
When I was a kid, I was a collector. I was a reader, not a collector. So what can I say?
I had a friend at my old job, big black dude. We became friends because I looked over and he had a tattoo on his arm of every single Green Lantern symbol, like the orange lanterns, Green Lantern, and like on his other arm was the other ones. And we just became best friends because that's all it takes is knowing your nerd stuff.
That's right.
The Napski for 20. Like the video on what if one battle of another was reversed. One battle after another was reversed. So have a right wing, the Crow-like film with Ashley Babbitt. Ashley Babbitt comes back and goes after Mike Bird, Ray Epps, and Nancy Pelosi. Lastly, Sydney Sweeney plays Ashley.
I think forget the Crow. Just do a fanfic of that. That could be fun.
That's what AI is for.
It could be fun. Yeah, but I mean, look, that's a whole other. We've got, if we have time for it, we have so many news stories. Bret, Easton, Ellis had some interesting things to say about one battle after another. So thank you, very generous Napski.
MK Solid for 5. Welcome to Derry has a full diversity in 1962 Maine. The Civil Rights Bill wasn't signed yet. It looks like Pennywise is running around in Queens.
Nice.
I don't have a problem with that. Who cares? I mean,
one of the characters has to be black because his dad, like, right? So you kind of have to have at least the family, which I think they're focusing on.
Yeah.
Jose A. Taco, member for 4 months. Can theaters fill Best Buy's gap by selling physical media like special editions? Offer a free movie ticket with a pre-order. I don't want theaters gone.
Oh, that's a great idea. There's a really good interview we did clips from with the CEO of AMC Theaters. And he talks about what they're doing to make money. The popcorn bucket thing, the number of commercials, they try to cut those down, special screenings of events with like Taylor Swift. And he talked about when they put merch in AMCs, they were making millions. It like really worked. I would love if there was like a display with special steel books or something. That's a great idea, Jose Taco. Thank you so much. But hey, guess what? Marvel is back. Marvel is back and better than ever with the show Wonder Man. Who's excited for Wonder Man?
I love Wonder Man. He was one of my favorites.
Well, it's a very different Wonder Man. Here's the let's look at this trailer, the full trailer, and we'll talk about it on the other side. I assume you guys have seen this. If not, fasten your seatbelts.
The entertainment world is stunned today when internationally celebrated and reclusive filmmaker Von Kovac sprung out of retirement to sign on for a remake of Wonder Man. Mr. Von Kovac, could you tell us more?
Everyone is tired of superheroes. There is an opportunity to reimagine a whole genre of storytelling.
Have you thought about casting?
So, what's this big audition you were talking about?
It's a huge opportunity. I'm auditioning for Wonder Man.
Did you hear about Wonder Man? I need to be in this movie.
Sorry, you crazy.
I was born to play this character.
Oh, you serious? Boo, they are already talking to Leo.
By the way, ripped off the scene from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood that Leo did. Is that anyone noticed that?
Funny, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right, back to it.
You just gotta go out there and crush it.
What's wrong?
I'm trying to come up with a backstory for the character.
Well, trust the words. Just show up and say them.
No, that's not my process.
Well, your process can go blow a spider.
Guy's killing it in there, bro.
Where have I seen him before?
Pretty sure he used to be a terrorist.
Next! You can slate whenever you're ready.
Simon Williams, reading for Wonder Man.
Listen to me, Simon. The callback is happening now. Just be normal.
Normal man. The breakdown is go method.
Come in. Mr. Kovac will meet you in the living room.
So you are here to meet Von Kovac?
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everyone. I want to explore the place between fiction and non-fiction.
That's tight.
We are going to make the last movie on Earth. No one will have the balls to make another. And action! Any news from Von Kovac?
There is news you'll be the first to know, unless you call me again, in which case I will never tell you.
Okay, we're already starting off with all the episodes drop in one day. One day.
Is it all in one?
In January, a la Echo. So all the episodes. Now, I do know the episodes are between 30 and 40 minutes. So it's not that, look, it's not your whole day, but, about but 4 or 5 hours to watch the whole series. I know someone who saw the first 2 episodes, said it's very enjoyable. It seems it's very meta.
Is this the studio, but in Marvel?
That's what I was just about to say.
It's derivative like the studio and like the HBO Max did a series like this about superheroes. What does everyone think about this? And it's kind of Marvel making fun of itself, although others have done it and maybe done it better. I actually quite like the studio. I did not like that HBO Max show.
Yeah. This is not a Wonder Man. This is not Wonder Man. It's a audition to play the role of Wonder Man. I was kind of hoping for a Wonder Man show because I actually liked Wonder Man in the comics, but so we're barely getting a Marvel superhero series, let alone a Wonder Man series.
Okay. Yeah. What does everyone else think?
Why is this a thing? Why is this Marvel? Why this is in the MCU because
That
you
was
have
Trevor Slattery, yes.
Trevor Slattery there, yes. Why is he not in prison? Why are they just laughing and saying, "Oh, I think he used to be a what did they say?
Terrorist, the
Terrorist.
Mandarin. Don't you remember it from Shang-Chi? Because the
how he got out
OG
of
watched
prison.
Shang-Chi.
He was in Shang-Chi too.
Yeah, he was pardoned.
He was pardoned. Sure.
The snap,
And now
remember the
he's just
snap
like,
changed
oh,
everything, and then
So
we just don't
it
talk
looks
about
like
it.
it's a meta commentary, maybe on superhero fatigue that Marvel
Mm-hmm.
created by making crap like this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it.
So it's the same guy from
I don't know.
that played the terrorist?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
it's the Trevor Slattery. But Ben
Is it a
Kingsley of all
comedy?
people.
Well,
Is it a
technically, he
comedy?
was the actor as the face of the terrorists. He was
Right.
It doesn't matter. Real
actively
things still
terrorist.
happened, even
He still
even
shot
though
people. he thought it was
the face
fake.
of the terrorist. He was
Still go to
involved in
jail.
some capacity.
Yeah.
I don't think that warrants a pardon because he was just an actor. But I don't know. I don't understand like why this is within the MCU. I think this is just a ways that Marvel can be like, haha, look, see, we're not taking ourselves seriously. We can laugh at ourselves too. But it just doesn't work for me. I don't understand it. When they announced Wonder Man, I thought it was going to be Wonder Man, not a show about a guy auditioning for the role of Wonder. It's just so confusing for me. And I'm not gonna watch it. I can see why they're releasing all of the episodes in one go. If that's what they're doing.
If
Because
DC
they
had a
are-
thing called
But
like Batman or Green Arrow, and then I went to go watch it, it was a fucking making a Green Arrow movie and the actors fighting. I'm like, what?
Yeah. When I saw this trailer, I was like, you know what? It's totally okay, Marvel. You don't have to release everything. You know, some things can be shelved, and then you just take the tax write-off. You really don't need to release everything. Warner Brothers did it, you know, with Batgirl, and you know that had Michael Keaton involved and Brendan Fraser, and they were just like, you know what? It's not very good. We're just going to shelve it, take the tax write-off. They can do that too. Marvel can do that too. You don't have to release everything.
Well, and if
Sometimes
this
things
ends
are
up
bad ideas.
like if this ends up well made, there's a chance that the reason that they're dumping it out is because they're hoping that they can get all the critics if it's like this well-made show that has absolutely nothing to do with Wonder Man, but the critics don't care, and they can get, you know, puffed up big reviews on it, and they're like, look at this 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes about this movie that has, or show that has nothing to do with Wonder Man. That's why they'll still dump it on there, because obviously we know they don't give a shit about fans anymore. So
The critics are going to
probably
do
why
that
they're doing
regardless, though.
Well, yeah, in many cases, yeah, for sure. Which, granted, they've slightly started pulling back a little bit from the over MCU love, but still, it's like if it's pushing any message, they're gonna freaking get behind it, you know?
Yeah, Marvel doesn't make movies for critics nor fans, so
right, just no one.
I don't understand why we can't get the Tron Ascension after like Tron Legacy did decent at the box office, but they just keep pumping out hundreds of millions of dollars on shows on Disney Plus and no one will watch. But it's just so unfair.
Yeah. See, look, that's it right there. I said it's a
soul
meta
crushing.
commentary on superhero fatigue. That's exactly what this show is.
Yeah, I mean, look.
About the very
By the way, I
thing they
predict the
created.
Hollywood Reporter will love this series.
Well, thanks, Gary, for sending me the poster. This is the poster with a fake copy of the Hollywood Reporter, and it says, Hollywood experiencing superhero fatigue. Is it time to hang up the capes? Well, I guess so at this point.
Horrible.
Hey,
horrible. This is what they think comic book fans want.
Right.
Is this they really think this is what we're going to? They've already lost all of the audience that, you know, enjoyed the first three phases of the MCU, and they're coming back with this. This is how they're starting off 2026, which is going to be a very big year because it ends with Doomsday, right? So you want to get the year off to a good start, and they're starting with this crap. Man, this is going to be fun to watch, man.
I think that's pretty funny that they use the Hollywood Reporter, because I knew that I had remembered a Hollywood Reporter article talking about Marvel superhero fatigue. And yeah, there's how Marvel is quietly retooling amid superhero fatigue. They have a couple of articles featuring Marvel talking about superhero fatigue. It's funny that they use
I give Marvel credit. They seem to be able to laugh. Peacemaker and DC. What is going on there? I watched the finale of Peacemaker season 2. What the hell was even that? A lot of people were asking. I'm not the only one. A lot of people were asking what the heck is going on with that Peacemaker finale. I think even people that defended the series and were fans were not happy with that finale. And well, let's see. James Gunn did respond. He responded and he posted something, of course, on social media. Let's see what he has to say to the fans about the finale of Peacemaker season 2.
Yes, that was the ending. No, I'm not sorry. Yes, it's streaming. HBO Max. No, you can't DM me about it. Okay, fine. One DM.
Yeah. And he got it. He got his one DM.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the response.
He didn't call anybody racist this time.
Well, he has the show to be able to do that. But I mean,
right.
What do you, for those who did see Peacemaker, DA, I know you saw it, Badger. I mean, I think Alan dipped out. Almost everyone I know said, not for me. And now there are rumors that Gunn could be out. I think this is wishful thinking on some.
Well, this is an exclusive from Cosmic Book News.
It's from Cosmic Book News. There is nothing to back this up at all.
It's an exclusive. Come on.
He hasn't been really proven wrong yet, but I guess the only other corroborating thing would be Jeff Snyder also saying that he's heard from his guys over at Warner Brothers. Yeah, the executives aren't happy with his boy king attitude.
Yeah, I just look, I don't think he's going anywhere, but I do think that we could see someone, and he's trying to do too much. Creature Commandos and this, and then canceled projects. If he just made a movie and wasn't doing everything, maybe it would be. And if you look at Gunn's work, it has diminished since the first Guardians might be the best mainstream thing he's ever done.
Where he had the most control and other people maybe wrote something. This article stipulates that the Paramount sale has to go through.
Right.
If it were to happen.
All I'm saying is I think that I ask, is the DCU in trouble after the Peacemaker season finale? And he seems to take no, and also we saw, maybe we can bring up that video, or you've seen it. David Cornsweet pushing back about an aspect of his performance, the speech at the end of Superman about being human, and he doesn't. Cornsweet knows in his gut this is the wrong way to do it. He does it anyways because David Cornsweet is a professional.
I just want to point out, it's not just the finale. That's why people are getting so upset, because they're realizing, like, wait, what? And it's Creature Commandos, which it might have been #1 on Max, but it didn't chart on the Nielsen ratings or Samba or any of the other ways that we register it. Superman just got confirmed to lose $42 million from the theatrical release. And if it one day makes money, that's great. But that's not exactly the ROI that they wanted. So it's multiple projects.
Look, plenty of people that are in executive positions that don't get fired even when they have bombs. But so I am asking all of you, because we've seen these missteps, because even friends of mine who watched Superman, which is now streaming on Max, another plug for HBO Max, have said, wow, it really doesn't hold up. Upon, second or third viewing on streaming, it doesn't hold up. You can look back at like aspects of the Snyderverse and say, Man of Steel maybe wasn't so bad. So what I'm asking is, does the Emperor have no clothes?
Look
By
at
that
this
I mean,
way.
and wait a second. By that I mean, will James Gunn be naked on the thumbnail for this clip? Which I think we should do, and maybe blur out so it's a fully nude James Gunn on the thumbnail. Does the Emperor have no clothes? But anyways, what are your guys' thoughts on Gunn?
It's about
and
momentum, right? What's the forward momentum right now for the DCU? You got from Creature Commandos, you've gone to Superman, and now you got Peacemaker, which had a very shaky start and an extraordinarily lackluster ending. Is there any momentum heading into Lanterns? Is anybody more excited about this universe now that we're moving forward? All right, Peacemaker is done. We've seen 3 James Gunn projects in the books. How are you feeling right now? Most people have probably already said, I'll wait and see what everybody else says about it, but I have no interest of my own to go and check out the next thing that James Gunn is doing. And then after that, we got Supergirl, and how many people are excited about Supergirl, So that's the way I look at it. I think the DCU has been in troubles, probably after Superman, because there wasn't the real like hype and pop that you really expected that movie to get. It was it's okay, it's all right, we'll see what's next. That's what's happening. Nobody has any momentum. Nobody cares about what's coming next. And then after that, you're going to get Clayface. It's like, where's Batman? Where's Wonder Woman? Where's the
I'm
Trinity?
more excited for
Where
Clayface.
are we going to get to the DC, like the Justice League? That's what people want. Yeah. And James Gunn is slow walking this thing. And I think he's, cooking his own goose at this point.
Well, by the way, if you believe the other article that came out from Matt, his insiders also told him that the reason you keep seeing all these delays is not because the scripts aren't good. It's because Gunn wants to change shit, and creators, shockingly enough, want to do their own thing, specifically pointing at James Mangold, who the reason his Swamp Thing isn't working out is because James keeps trying to change it. What did he just do? He signed with Paramount. Bingo. Specifically because they are focused on theatrical releases. Yeah, it is definitely an Emperor Has No Clothes. And even if you try to, okay, well, that's fine. Lanterns, you go look at who he hired for Lanterns. Damon Lindelof and Tom King, one of those hated people in comics. It's just across the board. There's no safety.
I just think at this point, James Gunn is very good at taking odd heroes that aren't widely known, the Guardians, that aren't mainstream, like Mr. Terrific, and really making them into amazing characters. Yeah. Superman is not what he excels at. I'm sorry. And I think he got He's on his second marriage, late in life, never had kids. He doesn't seem like he can really think about, like, if I'm doing Superman, really a character for kids, do I want to tell the kids that like Superman, watch Peacemaker season 2? I mean, Alan, I know you were a little taken aback by the curious amount of dong in
the
that
penis to boob ratio is disconcerting.
Yes.
Why would
Peacemaker
you choose
season
that
1
for your third
Right.
project? Like, why would you put that in the third thing? You're starting the universe. This isn't like Deadpool where it's coming down the line. You are starting your universe. You're trying to like cast the widest net possible and let everybody know, hey, we're doing something different, but it's going to be awesome. It's going to be exciting, and we want everybody to watch. We want kids of all ages to come in and enjoy our new superhero universe, and we're starting it with Superman, and then we're going to follow it up with Peacemaker, where you have a full-fledged orgy in the first episode. What?
He doesn't think about what is best for the foundation. If he thinks it's a good decision, with like very few exceptions, he thinks it's a good decision. He doesn't think about, okay, I know I want this, but in order to get that in the long run, I need to set up all of these pillars. It's literally a house of cards on sand. And the theory now that he's just shitting out everything that is directly related to him before he is replaced, or serious creative controls are put upon him, is kind of bearing out. Because I would say I love Peacemaker season 1. I liked a lot about it. I liked the whole going from anti-hero to trying to earn it, not just be a hired killer. And the best parts about season 2 was when Chris and seeing his family, and there was something there that clearly got subverted to just connect everything to DCU so he could keep his characters, including his wife, who has more screen time than Peacemaker in season 2.
Crazy. But you know, it's like you said, Chris, James Gunn's job is to like kind of shepherd this whole thing, not take on each project him and of himself. The first 3 projects have been James Gunn projects. All right. He hasn't handed anything off to anybody until we get to Lanterns. So his job should have been, okay, Superman's probably not the project for me personally. I probably need to find a director to do it. I might say, hey, this is what I want out of my superhero or my Superman movie, but you're going to make it, and we're going to let your creative talent take over. You do what you want to do. And then the next guy will come along, whoever, like Andy Muschietti's doing Brave and the Bold. Like, why haven't we gotten that yet? I'm starting to think there's creative differences going on between Andy Muschietti and James Gunn. And he doesn't like what Andy's doing with Batman. So we got to change it up. I don't like the character. I don't like what you're doing. And he wants to do it the James Gunn way. That's the way it's starting to come off. And it's based on, especially what Badger had just pointed out, is that, there's a lot of like, creative differences behind the scene, and James Gunn is blocking all
Matt
these
Reeves. Now I understand why Matt Reeves wants, I don't want my Batman to be the main universe. No, I don't want I'm completely separate. So he doesn't have to pay the Gunn prima nocta fucking tax where he just gets his fingers in everything. That's why
it's one of the problems I had with him being the head. I thought it would be a good idea at the very beginning. I said, all right, James Gunn, he seems to understand comics a little bit more than some of these other guys. Maybe he's the guy that can shepherd the DCU. But at the end of the day, you need a guy that's kind of hands off in a way and say, hey, you guys go make it. I'll kind of lay out the roadmap, the blueprint, but I'm going to let the creatives go out there and create and do what it is that they are good at. But because James Gunn is also a creative, he thinks he knows best on what's going to work for this universe. That's where this thing is going wrong. And you got to let all the other creatives jump in there. Kevin Feige and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, look who you had in that first phase. All right. You had Jon Favreau. You had Louis Leterrier. You had Joss Whedon. You had, I'm drawing a blank on Kenneth Branagh. You had all of these various talented directors and writers, and they all contributed. That's what James Gunn needed to do. But instead, it's just him. And if it's not my way, it's the highway. That's the problem you got.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to say, the term Sydney Sweeney, because that's what everybody says. But could she save the DC universe? I have potential proof. I have proof here from the Bugle Daily on X. Hey, James Gunn, what are you waiting for? Sydney Sweeney as Power Girl. Just let's look at this 6-second clip real quick. Here we go. I feel that might. It's on a loop. I can't fix it. Something's wrong.
Oh no!
Try to fix that. But
you can mute it and it'll be just fine.
Okay, it's fine. I mean, like simple decisions like this could have a huge impact. And maybe, if he really is in trouble, this could, save his job. But there you go.
Well, and after this season of Peacemaker, it also feels like he's just also grinding an axe a little bit too. So like we also have that. So he's trying to play Kevin Feige as well as play the Russo brothers, as well as play angry James Gunn. And that is no way to run a studio. That is a way to absolutely tank a studio. And that's the thing, is it's like, I was literally talking to my wife about this the other day. It's like, to a point, even for those first couple episodes of this season of Peacemaker, I was still kind of defending him. And then it just a couple episodes later, I was like, son of a bitch, you made me regret this. Like, you suck. And it's just, you can feel him grinding that axe. And then when people got mad, the first thing he did is the instant, like, well, screw the fans kind of situation. And it's like, you're not winning anybody over there. But the
monkeys on keyboards.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing, is he's doing these self-inserts in these projects, and that's not... It's not going to win anybody over. And now I do think that the thing is that outside of this sphere, you're going to have the people that only see Superman, right? They're going to see it on Max, they're going to see it in the theater, and they're going to be like, that was cool, and not care or watch Peacemaker at all. And maybe the same for Lanterns, and then Supergirl comes out. So I think the real question is, what's Supergirl going to be? Like, if Supergirl is more of him controlling the creator and more self-inserts and all that crap, then he's toast.
Yeah, it's the first thing written by someone else, Anna Nogueira, and it's based on the Tom King story. So we kind of go back to like, but yeah, it won't have maybe a joke after every serious moment. Right, that would be great.
And she's a very green writer as well. She hasn't really written much. Like she
gave her that
2 stage plays or something.
They gave her that.
She's writing
Teen
for
Titans
Disney, and she's writing.
Wonder
she's
Woman.
also writing the new Wonder Woman movie. That's when I knew that things were kind of on the rocks for James Gunn, because after Superman came out, then you had all of these announcements. Right, it didn't do very well, or as well as they had expected at the box office. And then like you had all of these announcements like, oh, but don't worry, we actually are working on a Wonder Woman film. Oh, Matt Reeves' Batman, it's coming. Batman 2, it's on its way. We had all of these other announcements that were trying to overshadow the Superman box office. And like that's how I was like, okay, yeah, they're kind of in trouble. They're saying, oh, maybe we're not going in the best direction here.
Hey,
and now Peacemaker. I didn't watch Peacemaker season 1. I wasn't really that attached to that character. I'm not a big John Cena person. I didn't like his character in the Suicide Squad movie. So I didn't watch Peacemaker. I didn't watch Peacemaker 2. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because it seems like this second season is pretty bad from everything that I've seen.
Hey, you love Disney live action remakes. You know what's coming? Tangled.
Oh, yeah. I knew it.
In the news. Tangled is in the news, but in a weird way. I want to bring up this tweet here from Robbie Starbuck. Let me share this. I'll read what he put. He's quote tweeting a news story, but points out something very interesting. The news story is from the Daily Mail. It says Disney is set to hire a white actress to star in its latest reboot after dumping DEI amid woke fury. This is from October 11th. But his comment is from Robbie Starbuck. Never forget that wokeness got so ridiculous that it's now an actual news story that Disney is hiring a white actress for a white role after they lost $50 million casting a leftist Latina as Snow White. Wait, let me say it like some of my friends in LA say. A leftist Latina as Snow White. I got to put the accent in there. If Paulie from Latino Slants is watching. What do we think of this? It's like,
you remember who they were going to hire?
No, I don't.
Share my screen.
Oh, okay. I will. It
was an Indian actress.
No, there was someone first.
Native American.
No. You'll remember her when you see it.
Okay, here we go.
Her. The actress opposite Tom Holland in Romeo and Juliet was going to be up for Tangled.
She has the hair.
I thought it was going to be an Indian actress.
She has the hair.
There might have been more than one.
Yeah.
I can't deny.
So, yeah.
What
dodged the bullet.
Is that just it's weird to point out, but worth discussing. Thoughts? What do you guys think? And Alan, I got to hear from you because you're the biggest Disney fan I know.
No, my issue is that they didn't even consider an Asian actress to be.
I mean, finally, right? They finally came to their senses. They did, the race swap with the Little Mermaid, and then with Snow White. So now let's get back to just making the move. If you're gonna do Rapunzel, just do Rapunzel. Don't try to race swap it. I think Scarlett Johansson's also signed up to be in it, so
To be
that
Mother
might give a little
Gothel.
boost. Yeah, so good for them.
Yeah.
I hope the little girls like it. I want Disney to get back to being Disney. So I hope the little girls like it. It's not a movie I'm gonna watch, but I hope they get back to doing what they do best, which is
I hope Flynn Rider is Asian.
Well, actually, I saw the person that they want to cast as Flynn Rider, and I believe he's a Latino. But there was also
Not
someone who
Simu
said
Liu.
that he was up for the role, or who he auditioned for the role of Flynn Rider, who looks exactly like Flynn Rider as well. But either way, when they announced that they were gonna like put shelf Tangled, and I was like, they're not really gonna do that. They're just gonna put a pause on everything until Lilo and Stitch comes out, and then like Moana comes out, because Moana was gonna be huge. I knew Lilo and Stitch was going to be huge. And then they were going to be like, okay, now that people are like reinvigorated with our live action movies, see, they're making so much money, we can do this. But a lot of people had a problem with Lilo and Stitch, how they changed the ending of it. And I think like they've been changing, aside from Cinderella, which is a beautiful movie. I loved it. A lot of their live action movies have sucked because they've changed it. They've inserted, girl boss into it. They made, what's her name? They took Emma Watson's advice and changed the character of Belle at her behest, and they changed the Little Mermaid. They had her, not only did they race swap her, but they had her save Eric at the end. They've changed a lot in their live action movies, and not for the better, which is why people had such a huge problem with them, because they're trying to girl boss up their princesses, and that's not why we fell in love with these characters in the first place. And so when people saw that, like, oh my gosh, they're going to shelve Rapunzel, thank God. They're shelving Tangled, they're not going to touch that one, thank goodness. And now they're like, oh, actually, we're going to take it off the shelf, and it's now back into production. I hope that they really stick to the movie. Like, thank you. It sounded so scandalous that, oh my goodness, why does it sound so scandalous? They're hiring a white girl to play Rapunzel. Like, well, yeah, that you should be hiring a white girl because Rapunzel is white. The headline sounded so scandalous, since they've been hiring, race swapping all of these characters. But I don't know. I honestly do not know if they're going to stick to the movie of translating Tangled to live action, because they've taken so many liberties before and changed so much. So whatever, they're going to make it, and people are going to go and watch it, and it's. Yeah, but I hope it's good.
It's been proven that if you make the movie, I know you didn't like the ending, but if you make the movie based on the original movie, it will do well. Also, Disney's on this kind of roll where they realize, look, Inside Out 2 had gay themes. They took it out. Elio had gay themes. They took it out. This new movie, Hopper, 100% has had gay themes, and they're taking it out. They decided with Moana and with Lilo and Stitch just to tell the story, the original story. I think those will do well. I mean, I think to Disney's credit, they're learning the right lessons at this
long enough.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just tired of seeing. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm just tired of seeing remakes of films that already are. No, they're just recent, and they're beloved, and they were popular, and they're just like, let's just do it again, but we'll put it in live action. That's just like the definition.
How to Train Your Dragon. That's a big one, right?
Soulless. And I get it more if they want to do that with maybe films that didn't do well at the box office. Maybe that I think Treasure Planet and Atlantis: The Lost Empire could be great.
What I was about to say when you said that.
Atlantis: The Lost Empire. That would be
I mean,
AE.
Crazy.
I think that would be incredible.
Yeah, you could do it. Hey, one last news story as we wrap up today. One battle after another has been controversial. It will probably win Best Picture. Why? Because of the themes. Alan and I talked about that in our initial review. Well, Bret Easton Ellis, if you are not familiar, a writer, he wrote American Psycho, among others. He has a really great podcast worth listening to. I read one of his recent books, White, so that was very good. he had something to say, and this is from Variety. Badger, if you would.
Sure.
I wouldn't go to the main story, but this is the crux of what he had to say. I really want this to sink in for those who have seen it or are considering seeing it. Please read this post.
It's kind of shocking to see these kind of accolades for, I'm sorry, it's not a very good movie because of its political ideology. And so it's obvious that's what they're resonating or responding to. Why it's considered a masterpiece, the greatest film of the decade, the greatest film ever made, is because it really aligns with this kind of a leftist sensibility. It will soon be a kind of musty relic of the post-Kamala Harris era, that thing everyone gathers around and pretends is so fantastic and so great when it really isn't, just to make a point. There's a liberal mustiness to this movie that already feels very dated by October 2025, very dated. And it just doesn't read the room, you know? It reads a tiny corner of the room, but it does not read what is going on in America.
That is Bret, Easton, Ellis. You could scroll through the comments here. It's from Mr. Reagan, who I happen to know. Someone in Hollywood is actually awake, sensible, and brave enough to tell the truth.
So Chris, he's right, by the way. This is why we get upset about like the Earth X of all the worlds. Gunn had to show the Nazi one, stuff like this. The Savant, which we know what that would have shown. It is this pollution into the public zeitgeist to project a reality that does not exist. And it just keeps happening.
What do you guys think? And by yes, his books, I've read American Psycho. He is an amazing writer, and his podcast is Chef's Kiss Grades. But he actually spoke out. You know, he said something. It's not like, okay, Film Threat has whatever level voice it has. We're generally ignored for the most part, except for Alan. Alan's follow my pal Al on X. You'll see what I mean. But Alan is my favorite troll. But what do you guys think about what Bret had to say?
I mean, it's the reason why Hollywood keeps failing in the box office, because they don't make movies that people respond to in a positive way. It's all negativity. It's all race. It's all this, that, and the third. Instead of actually giving us like entertainment, they want to preach to us. They want to, tell us, oh, this is what's going on in the world. Don't you think it's horrible? Instead of just giving us an entertaining movie that we can all sit back and enjoy. Like entertainment used to bring people together. Going to the movies used to bring people from all different walks of life together. And yeah, sometimes there was a topic that maybe, didn't necessarily, jive with a particular social or political sensibility, but you still watched it because it was a good movie and it had some good actors. Now it just seems like every day, every year, we're just getting more and more and more of this slop, and we're tired of it. So he nailed it. He absolutely nailed it, man. This is what's going on in Hollywood. They make movies for themselves in their own Hollywood bubble. They don't really resonate with the rest of us. And so nobody goes to the movies anymore. And the box office is absolutely plummeting. This is the audience is telling you. The audience is telling you what it is that they want to watch and what they don't want to watch. I think this movie flopped, right? I mean, this is a major flop. How much money has it made? Nobody's going to see this.
On $140 million. I'm shocked they covered this story, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants to watch this crap, man. Like,
I've been getting. I got an early review out on like Thursday. We have never had a video pop off. It went bonkers, pushed us over 1,000 subs. Like we've never had YouTube get behind our videos. This thing went bonkers, and I've been getting. I walked out. I only lasted 20 minutes. Like I had to leave. Now that is not to also talk about me just getting berated endlessly, but also like it's just the number of people that thought that it was improperly advertised. So not only are you people not interested in this, you're misleading your viewer by marketing it the way that they did, and then people are going to see it and walking out. You want to talk about bad word of mouth? People saying that they've never walked out of a movie in their life and leaving because they were just so taken aback by what was actually in the film. And that was basically what I focused on when I made the video, was just like, hey, you need to know what this is. Like, you need to know what this movie actually contains. And that's the thing, is it was so deceptive, and they knew that this was going to be divisive, and so they just kind of swept it under the rug, kind of how they did with some of this Tron marketing, where they didn't even tell us who the lead was until
I was going to make a
film
joke,
came out.
but no, I thought you might take it as an attack. But yeah, they kind of did the same thing too, right? Yeah.
They did. They absolutely did. No, and I don't take that personally because they did. And that's the thing, is they buried the lead. So it's like, these studios keep doing that because they clearly know what's going to happen. And it happened with this, and now they're paying for it. And that's the thing, is I like that he pointed out that not only is this politically just chocked full of all of that stuff, but it's also not that great. Like, it's well filmed. It sounds well. Like, there are things that are good about it, but it is messy and it is overlong and it's kind of boring.
And by the way, 14 Oscar nominations at least, including Best Picture, Best Actor, Best. We're saying it here right now. I'm telling you, not a lot is being pushed. We're in the awards, the season where awards movies are coming out and being promoted, and this movie is in the top on all the lists. It is going to show another, in the way that Emilia Perez got a Best Actress nomination. This is going to, it's almost going to get the nominations as an FU to everyone. And we'll just completely show how disconnected people from Hollywood are with the rest of the country, or as I call it, just normal people.
I used to watch the Oscars all the time. I can't watch the Oscars anymore. The stuff that they're giving awards for and everything, it's like, I don't want to watch this. I don't like these movies. All right. I like some of them, but a lot of movies that you see, like Emilia Perez, for instance, it's like, it's just not stuff that America or even the world wants to watch, but this is what we're getting. And this is why the
Penis to vagina.
Penis to vagina?
This is the reason why the ratings keep dropping. Nobody's showing up watching the Oscars. I used to watch it all the time, and now I watch your watch party. I watch the Film Threat watch party to see you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, but the actual Oscars, I'm out. I'm not watching that crap because this is going to win Best Picture. It's going to win all the awards.
Win all the speeches they're going to give.
Nobody wants to be preached to. Your average American person who goes to, or your average person who goes and watches entertainment doesn't go to watch it to be preached to. They go to watch it as a form of escapism, to escape the world around them, and start and watch something else, be swept into a different universe, whatever they're going and watching. And when you're going and watching a movie and being preached at the entire time, like it feels like you have to write like a fucking book report at the very end of it. Like it's so annoying. And yes, these movies are going to be 100% dated. They already are. This movie is already dated, but it's released and it's already old. It's dated. And there's a lot of movies that can't come out of Hollywood right now that are going to be extremely dated. If not, they already are dated. It's all of the things, all of the current day issues that are being put into modern media. It just dates them. 100% dated. It doesn't last a lifetime. These aren't movies that you will remember years and years and years down the road. These aren't movies that are going to stick with you years and years down the road because it's an excellent script. No, it's not an excellent script. It's just pure propaganda, pure agenda being put into these movies by these Hollywood elites who stand, on their soapbox and preach to everybody because they think that they have the correct opinion. They think that they have the correct opinion, and it's only a matter of time before you change your thinking into what they think as well. So they think that like they need to preach to you because they have the correct opinion, and it's their job to inform you and to keep you and to change your mind and make sure that you are in lockstep with them as well. It's not going to work. Nobody wants to go and be preached to at a movie theater. It's so ridiculous.
It's peak progressive propaganda. Alan, you have to go. We have to wrap up the show.
Yeah.
I'll see you tonight.
Yeah.
Alan,
yeah. I was in the same room as Sydney Sweeney yesterday, and I'll be in the same room as Spike Lee today.
All right.
Upgrade. Right?
All right. Alan, see you later. He's got to go. Everyone, we got a few soups here, and then we'll wrap up. I want here you go.
Cole Hauser for 5. If Michael Bay brought in Sydney Sweeney as Carly Witwicky for his next Transformers, 200 million opening weekend, easy. Carly Witwicky. Yeah.
How is Sydney Sweeney should just be added to every franchise like that.
Taryn for 5. It went from Oscar so white to Oscar so woke to Oscar so boring. Can they just make good movies that aren't so boring?
Well, watch the Film Threat watch party. The night of the Oscars. We have a good time.
Francisco Sanchez Jr. for 5. I walked out of one battle after another, barely liking it. This movie is a power fantasy for elite city snobs who can't recognize farmlands as they fly over it.
Precisely. It's luxury opinions, as I call them. I want to say thanks to our mods, Lord Thoth, MK Solid, and let's go around the horn. Everyone plug your channels.
Hi, you can find me here on YouTube at Nerd Cookies, where I chat about sci-fi and fantasy news, theories, and lore. Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah, you can find me at Criticless Cast, which is where we actually tend to lately cover nothing but critic-hated movies, which has been super fun. But also make sure to be on criticless.com, download us in Android or Apple app stores. Get on there, review some movies, get part of that culture and ecosystem. It's an awesome community, so we'd love to have you over there. And I'll be your MySpace Tom, your first friend, so come say hi. But yeah, join Criticless.
Cool. Explain.
Yo, Derek Anderson, the DA. Check me out tomorrow for the Nightcap. Also on Thursday, we'll be discussing whatever's going on in the world. I have a new anime stream on Friday nights, anime nights. So if you guys are anime fans, come hang out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, the DA's office every Sunday at 8 p.m. Pacific. Thanks, guys. I'll see you on the next one.
Steph, my nerdy home. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, and Geeks and Gamers Daily every Wednesday morning. And I stream a lot on my channel, so I'm gonna hang out.
Angry Badger, thank you for 10,000. We hit it first thing on stream. Woo! Appreciate you. We've got a stream coming up right now. BadgerCast, 30 minutes. We'll talk about all the things. Yay! Thank you. Thank you to Blaine for coming and having the struggle session that Chris put you through.
Yeah.
He rolls up one at a time to fight you.
My favorite kind of diversity is opinion. I love talking. Right. I want to be convinced. I want to hear why you're passionate about why you. That's fine. I loved it. So I saw your post. It's great. Thank you, Blaine. And support criticless.com. Go there, make an account, and post away. Thanks, everyone. Wednesday, Alan and I are back with Hollywood on the Rocks. Thank you so much. And Atomic Glory, can't forget her, working hard behind the scenes. Glenn Nuccio. And I'm just going through everyone. I'm going to go through everyone here. All right. Take care, everyone. Peace.